Welcome to A&B Horror Movies. I'm Aaron, and I'm very excited to be joined by the legend Lloyd Kaufman today. Lloyd, welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Aaron. Greatly appreciate you appreciating Troma for 52 years. You were there at the very beginning. I remember that.
Absolutely.
I
Maybe not
believe
the
I
very beginning, but
remember
for a long time for sure.
you.
So you are the co-founder and president of Troma Entertainment. So congratulations on that. You
Well,
are
thank you so much.
of course, you're a writer, director, producer, author of 7 books, and most importantly, a supporter of independent films. So, what an impressive resume, including some noteworthy films such as the Toxic Avenger films. I've got the 4K set right here. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, Class of Nuke 'Em High, Tromeo and Juliet, Terror Firmer, and Poultrygeist, just to name a few. I could go on and on. Congratulations on everything you've accomplished.
Well, thank you so much. And again, it's wonderful to be on your A&B horror podcast.
Yes. Oh, this is fantastic. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. Let's see. So my first question for
Oh,
you
great.
is my first question for you is when you started Troma over 50 years ago, did you ever imagine that it would still be present and have such longevity and that you would be here talking about it today?
No, I had hoped to get an Oscar and be appreciated by the mainstream, and I wanted to sell out, but nobody was buying.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But you
Here
found
we are, in the reeds of the underground, 52 years later,
yes, yes. But
and,
I mean,
now
that's
the Toxic Avenger
unbelievable.
has been made into a glorious $50 million movie. It's very, very good too.
Oh, it's very
Here I
good.
have here at my desk, I have an actual prop from the $50 million Toxic Avenger. Wait
Oh,
till you see it. It's unbelievable.
oh my gosh. Is that I can't tell what it
No
is.
AI. I know. Well, I'm not supposed to even show this because, but
Yeah. Well, you don't want to
I
get in
know it's
trouble.
terrible.
It's, uh,
No, no,
so,
I had to sign an NDA, as a matter of fact. So,
oh, yikes. Well, if you want me to cut that piece out, I can
no,
certainly
no,
do
no,
that.
don't,
No, we're
don't.
good. We're
I'll
good.
just blame it on you.
Even better. So my next question for you about the Toxic Avenger films, again, to show the 4K box set that I have. Um, when you made the first film, did you expect it would be as popular as it became? And then to even go on to make 3 sequels of this film and spawn, a cartoon, a musical, cartoon books. I've even got a Funko of Toxie right here. Um, would you have ever predicted that it would become what it has?
Well, here's the thing. We made a movie, a very good movie,
Mhm.
a movie that could have propelled Michael Hers and Uncle Lloyd. Sorry to talk about me in the third person, but this
That's
is
totally
very
fine.
objective.
Mhm.
The censor board, the Motion Picture Association of America, which required uh, R ratings to get into the movie theaters, they cut 20 minutes out of the Toxic Avenger, out of the original movie. So when the movie was shown in movie theaters, it was terrible, right? But because it's so good, eventually the director's cut got out, and
Mhm.
eventually, you can't stop art. It's going to get out, whether you're, censored in Iran or maybe our good friends, the Trump allies in Russia, they censor. But nonetheless, uh, crime and punishment is going to uh, get out. It's going to succeed. They can censor all they want, but we made a movie that's being edited now called The Power of Positive Murder. And 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 uh,
Yeah, they got
It's
some
inspired by
things going on. Yeah.
Raskolnikov and Crime and Punishment. The point is, they chopped up the Toxic Avenger because the
Mm.
MPAA, Motion Picture Association of America, is owned and controlled by the mainstream. So you can have a movie like what? How shall I say? Bruce Willis play dead, or what is it? Dead something. His
Mm.
kneecaps are splattered all over the wall. Serious violence. But Troma's War, which was just a like a cartoon satire of of uh, 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 of a war picture. They cut everything out. Punches. They cut out dead bodies. Any possible action was cut out. And now, 40 years later, Troma's War is a very successful movie. Every movie we've ever made got chopped up by the MPAA because they don't want competition for the oligopoly, which is what you got.
Yeah.
And now you have a president who's loves oligopoly, and he loves power, and wants to be the emperor, and all that kind of stuff. So you can't, very if you have art, it'll get out there. You may be dead like Van Gogh, but you
Mm.
can't stop it.
It
It's
it will live.
political.
It will live
It,
on. Yes.
all
So
of Troma is political, anti-establishment. So of course, right,
absolutely.
bring you Spider-Man 82. Of course, it's going to be
It's too
how shall I
funny.
say it? That's no problem. But hey, a masterpiece, The Thing,
Yeah.
The Thing,
The thing. Yes. Yeah.
1982. There's blood and guts everywhere. But meanwhile, Toxic Avenger, which came out 2 years later, totally emasculated. It was as
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
the movie was married or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
That's unfortunate. Um,
So yeah,
of
so
the
it's
of
held us back.
of the toxic films,
Yes.
which one is your favorite? I think I know the answer to this, but I wanted to ask.
Well, I would say Citizen Toxie is the most profound, but the new Toxie, the $50 million movie, is better than the original Toxie. And I
Mm.
hope people will like it. More profound, deeper. It's
And
not like Citizen Toxie. It's a total new take on the Toxic Avenger by Macon Blair, and Toxic
yeah.
carries his mop
Mhm.
up, not like a janitor. So that's the thing. Um, and in this movie, Mops Are Raised. Also, Ahoy Comics has come out with a new Toxic Avenger comic book series for the last year. It's very
Mm.
successful.
Mm.
And again, they've recreated Toxie in a certain way. And
Yes.
and the artists have they unlike Disney, we allow the artists to interpret the Toxic Avenger. So Ahoy Comics has some great uh, art that is totally different from what you'd expect, as opposed to
Okay. Okay.
Lilo and Lo and Schmilo, where they have to be on, they got to be on what do you call it, on model, on model. We let
Yes.
the roam free, like cows, like free range cows.
Yeah, of course, man. I love that the cleaning crew is working very hard
We
behind you.
milk them, then
Um,
we milk them for all they're worth.
yeah, yeah, no, they're doing a great
So,
job.
question, please. Was there another question?
Yeah, of course. So I wanted to talk with you about the human hibachi films.
Oh,
Um,
a little bit later for that. Wait till
yeah,
the
my
reviews.
God,
When the reviews
safety,
come
safety
out,
first.
we'll do it on camera. Go out in Times Square and do that. Yes. What you
The
say?
human hibachi films. I recently chatted with Mario Cerrito and Debbie Rochon, who are in the new film, The Last Supper, and I understand that you have been involved with that one. What can you tell us about the human hibachi films, especially the new one coming out?
Well, it's I think the best of the Hibachi series. I think you can see contemporary themes therein. I don't want to really be a spoiler, but
Of course.
he's done very well with Mario's done does very well with they're quite successful, and actually you
Mhm.
can see
Mhm.
them on Troma Now streaming service, and
Yes.
they're very popular. Troma Now is actually growing and is actually profitable, which is unusual in the world of streaming.
Streaming, yes. Yeah. Well, while we're on it, can you say a little bit more about Troma Now, which is what is it? WatchTroma.com, I believe. Yeah,
Uh,
WatchTroma.com.
well, there's an app for Troma whatever it is, Troma Now,
Mm,
and
yes.
it's free. And the first month is free. There's about 1,000 movies, 52 years of
Mhm.
failed filmmaking, and it's growing. And I think people seem to like it. The thing is, we have no money for advertising, so we really appreciate A&B,
Any funding.
movies we have this Sergeant Kabukiman movie. It's very
I
good.
love that
All
movie
sorts
too.
of,
Yes.
and then a lot of movies. Trey Parker and Matt Stone have a movie called Cannibal the Musical. James
Of
Gunn
course.
and Fisher, his wife made a movie called Lolly Love. It's right there on Troma Now.
It's
A
right
lot
there,
of good
Troma
movies.
Now. Hmm.
Frankenhooker just posted there.
Oh, another a
Trying to
fine
fish.
film to check out. Henenlotter's masterpiece.
Yeah,
Um,
he's very good.
that's
He
yeah,
he
he's very
was
good.
he was the a guest at Troma Dance Film Festival 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Troma Dance is a festival we started
Oh,
as a reaction against Sundance
mm,
because they're so elitist. We were there for 10 years. Trey Parker inspired it. And then we moved to New York. It's now in New York City. And I'm not sure what the date of this year's Troma Dance Festival, but it's all free. And
mhm.
movies that you can send your movie there. And I think the selection committee is still open. So if anyone has any good new movie or old movies,
Yeah.
we don't have to have world premieres. Main thing is you can enter your movie for free. You can watch the movies for free, and we do what we can do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love the activity behind you. Um, Romeo and
What?
Juliet was
What
another.
are you talking about? What?
Yeah,
What?
nothing. Oh, you don't see anything? No,
Oh,
I guess it's all in my head. Let's talk a little bit about Tromeo and
there's
Juliet. Yeah,
nothing there. I didn't
there's
get it.
nothing there. It's
So
magic.
anyway,
Tromeo and Juliet, another huge success for Troma.
yeah.
Can you speak to the inspiration for taking of course, the classic Shakespeare story and making it into the film that we all know and love?
Well, thank you very much for enjoying Tromeo and Juliet. It came out of the fact that my generation was, how shall I say it, has swamped the next generation. You have pieces of beef jerky on stage instead
Yeah.
of new young talent. You have all these old people. In fact, I'm one of them. They should kick me out of Troma. Let the young people run it, but
Mm,
I'm sort of stuck. And
that would
poor
be
Michael
awful.
Hudson, we're both
Yeah.
stuck. It's like Peter Pan. James Gunn, Trey Parker, Samuel Jackson, they all fly away, and we're here in Tromaville all alone. And
Mm.
uh, but every Friday, free lunch Friday.
Oh, I do love, who doesn't love a free lunch? That's amazing. Mm.
We like to take care of the workers here. You know.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
we were
So,
talking about Romeo. The idea was my generation was everything had to be cool. Uh, what's his name? Clinton playing the saxophone on MTV with the sunglasses. It's not. It's about love. It's not about cool. It's about love.
mm,
And my generation too
and
occupied with uh, material and cool, and they've sucked all the oxygen out, and now they've elected
yeah.
this idiot in Trump, and nobody's doing anything. Right?
Mm, mm.
We're stuck now. We're stuck.
Well,
What do
there's
we
hope.
do about
Um,
this?
I also wanted to talk with you about vampire zombies from space. I had the opportunity to chat with Jacob Scrippa recently. I loved that
Oh,
movie.
oh,
And
please
my
send my
question, yeah,
send
fantastic
my
movie.
Jacob's
And
great. Jacob's great. Yeah.
yeah, he's great. And well, my question for you is how did you, what was your inspiration for the role to play a masturbating old man in that film?
Well, Jacob did not tell me that my part was a masturbating old man. He told me I was an action scene, and that I followed the director. He said it was going to be very heroic, and that this was a children's film. I had no idea, but
Yeah,
I'm open-minded. I don't want to interfere with the artist, of course.
of course, of course. Hmm. Love the movie. I think you did it flawlessly. Perfect
Well,
role for you.
Jacob,
Oh,
talented one there. I mean, I had
yeah,
it's Jacob's
indeed.
movie all the way, but he told me I had no idea it was an old man masturbating. He told me it was something totally different. It's like,
Yeah, well, you did it so well. Is very authentic. Um, I
well,
also wanted
thank
to, yeah, I wanted to talk with you about Poultrygeist. So we chatted with Jason Shannon about a year ago because he has two books that came out recently.
yes,
Um,
very good. Yeah.
what was, and I think there's a new one coming out. So he has a trilogy. Um, what made you want to make a film about zombified chickens killing the workers at a fast food joint?
Well, the Troma building had a very bad neighbor at McDonald's, and they did bad things. And I don't want to go into
Oh.
the details, but the food is bad enough, but the management was a very bad neighbor. So
Mm.
then I read Fast Food Nation. Gabe Friedman, who really
Yes.
wrote the film with me,
Mm.
he actually wrote it. Really, he deserves the credit for it. But he gave me the book, which I read, and it was boring like the movie. But
Mm.
we thought we're doing anti-fast food because the whole idea is young people don't realize that we have 40% obesity due to fast food and junk food.
Mm.
Uh,
That's not good.
so that was pretty much the inspiration there. And being a gay married man, I like musicals. So it's not really a musical, but it has some singing.
I don't know. There's some music in there. Totally. Totally. I could
Well,
see it.
there is, but it's not like Cannibal the Musical. Cannibal the Musical
Of
is
course. Yeah, that's
a
mhm.
classic. It's in the style of Oklahoma meets the Toxic Avenger Part Two, but it's more of a classical musical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yes. Let's see. So we talked about Troma now. I do have some viewer and guest questions I wanted to ask you. Um,
Nah, go
if
ahead.
you're ready, I mean, brush away whenever you're
All
ready.
right. Yeah.
Too funny.
Yeah,
So
go
the
on.
first
What's the
one,
question?
okay, the first one is from Don Capria, who wrote and directed Director's Cut. He wants to know if you think society or how would society react to a film like Joe, made 55 years ago today?
Well, uh, uh, I think that Joe is a masterpiece. It holds up great.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think I'm in it. Was
Mhm.
That's where I met John G. Avildsen, who went on to make Cry Uncle. Terrific, just as good as Joe, but a comedy. Very funny satire of cry terror, cry, whatever. It's terrific, and it's on Troma now. And then John Avildsen went on to make a little movie called Rocky. And
Yeah, I've
I
heard of
saw
that one.
the first day that I was on the set of Joe. I saw that John G. Avildsen was I saw the shot. In fact, I looked through the camera, and the union guy yelled at me because I wasn't supposed to go near the camera because I wasn't in a union. Uh,
Mm.
anyway,
Mm.
I'm in SAG if anybody wants me for a SAG
Okay.
movie.
Yeah.
I don't
All right.
think I don't know if I think HIbachi that was a SAG movie, I'm sure. And Vampire
Oh, I
Zombies
think
from
so.
Space, very serious movie.
Likely, yes.
So,
Wardrobe change.
what was the
Yes,
next?
see, let's see. The next one is from Morley Nelson, who
Well, did
wrote
I
and
answer
directed.
that question? Oh, did I answer the
I think
question?
so. How do you think society would react to it?
Well, here's a question: The 7 Year Itch by Billy Wilder with Marilyn Monroe and Tom Ewell.
Mhm.
I would love to know how your viewers look at that movie today, because
Mhm.
it's more than 50 years. But I'm just curious because if you the French, Billy Wilder, who directed it, is looked upon as a master director, one of the great directors of all time. But I'd be curious to see what young people or your viewers might think of the 7 Year Itch,
I
Marilyn
can
Monroe.
certainly ask. I'll put it in the
Yes,
comments.
I'd be
To
curious
to
to
be
see,
honest, yeah, I
because the
haven't
question about
rewatched
Joe
that in a while.
was
Yeah.
the question about Joe. It's a theme of different cultures interfacing. Uh, in fact, the film that just came out was nominated Real Pain by
Mm.
Jesse Eisenberg. Similar thing, two different cultures interacting, and that is a universal theme. It's not going to go away. So I think Joe holds up very well. And I'm curious about 7 Year Itch because it is regarded as a masterpiece. I'm just wondering what people would think of
Well,
it too.
I will certainly ask, and maybe we'll get some comments with some feedback there. Let's
Good.
see. So the next set of questions I have, this is from Morley Nelson, who wrote and directed Uncontained, a new smart take on the zombie subgenre, I would say. And his question is, what are your thoughts on how millennials, Gen Z, and especially Gen Alpha do not like nudity and romance? Is there something else that takes the place of nudity and romance?
Well, they should. I mean, I know they're watching porn. That's the problem. They should
Porn,
stop
yeah.
that and check out
And
Troma Now. It's both artistic. It's interesting. It's
yeah,
got a lot of
totally.
sex and violence, and not all the movies are Troma movies. Most of them are movies we've either bought in the past when we had money. We didn't
Mhm.
buy drugs. We bought movies.
Mm.
And also many of the movie makers like Mario from Hibachi,
Yes.
they want to get people to see their movies, and nobody answers their phone calls. We're
Mm.
here for people like James Gunn and Trent Haga and oh yeah,
Mhm.
oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
oh
that's fantastic.
oh
Oh
yeah,
my.
thank you, Kabukiman.
Yeah, he's very
Oh,
nice, very giving. Um,
oh.
okay, so let's see. I've got
Good
one more
questions.
question
Very good
from
questions.
Mike Freeman 77. He says, when you
Is
made
that
Toxic,
he's 77 years old?
I don't think so.
Mike
That's just
Freeman,
his
when
use.
I knew him, he
That's
was
his
only
username.
32 years old.
I'm guessing that's when he was born.
I think he's a
I'm
subscriber to Troma Now. I think I saw his
I
subscription come through
I
with
bet
Troma
I
Now.
bet maybe. Yeah, I'll have to ask him.
Grinder
So
feeds Grinder
he so
feeds right into
gets
Troma
mixed
Now.
right
It's
in there. So
amazing.
he wants to know if you ever imagined that the Toxic Avenger would be made into a musical.
Oddly enough, it was my idea originally. And then my
Oh,
literary agent tried to put it together at one point. And you can see an actual investor if you get the DVD of Make Your Own Damn Movie. I filmed
yes.
an actual investor audition where we had actors singing songs for a potential Toxic Avenger musical.
Mm,
That, of course, didn't happen. But later on, the producers of Broadway's Scoundrels, it was based on a movie, something, Scoundrels, Vicious Scoundrel. Anyway, big
okay,
successful
okay.
musical. They
Yeah.
decided they would do the musical, and David Bryan, Bon Jovi, who was a Troma fan from the
Hmm.
time he
Hmm.
was a kid. In fact, he says it on the London program in his section of the London program when the musical played there. He said, "When I was 12-year-old child, I always wanted to make a musical out of the Toxic Avenger," and he wrote great music. The musical is great. They're still performing it around the country.
Yeah, yeah. And
Good,
there's
good
your
music. It really is funny and inventive and clever and not disgusting like Troma movies. You
mm,
can bring your grandmother. I couldn't bring my grandmother because she's dead, but if she wasn't dead,
yeah, yeah.
which
that
you should
that
have.
would be a
Well,
problem.
one grandmother would probably like it, but the socialist
Mhm.
grandmother, she would say it's a waste of money,
You
all that
can't you can't win them all, I guess. Um, my next question, and before we do this or that, um, of all of the films that you've worked on, is there one that you think deserves more attention?
What's that? Thank you.
Of all, yeah, no, this is
One that
fantastic.
deserves more attention.
Yes.
Films that I've worked on, or films that we
Uh,
made.
any, I mean, you choose films you worked on, films you made.
Well,
It's
I think you'll find some buried treasures on Troma Now.
so go to
Combat
Troma
Shock.
Now.
If you like the pressing movies, which I do, Combat Shock, masterpiece. Uh, Story of a Junkie, a masterpiece.
Hmm.
Mr. Bricks, a musical, but a dark, dark, dark masterpiece. These are buried treasures that I think any fan of independent cinema would really appreciate. And you don't see these movies on Netflix or Amazon. If you do, we're not getting paid for them. So watch them on
Yeah,
Troma
yeah,
Now.
that's great advice.
You
So
need
go
to
to,
support.
yeah, support absolutely. So watch.troma.com. My last piece, which I like to do, it's kind of fun. It's the this or that segment where I ask you two things, you just pick one or the other. Um, Usually kind of fun, but gosh, we'll see. The first
Okay.
one I have is Frankenhooker or brain damage. Back to Henenlotter.
Mm, good question. I think I'll go with Frankenhooker.
Mhm. Yeah,
Do I
it's
have to say why?
totally up to you, or we can just move right along.
Funny film, and the acting is hilarious. It's a wonderful
Yeah, it's
performance.
so good. Yes. Okay. Would you
Frank
prefer
was
us?
the anchor. He was our big guest at Troma Dance about Troma Dance Film Festival about 3, 4 years ago.
Yes. Yeah, you
I
mentioned
hope
that.
he had a good
Yeah.
time. He was the fans loved him, of course.
Mhm. Yeah. Awesome films right there. Spaghetti dinner or steak and potatoes? Make you hungry.
Oh, well, I think spaghetti is probably more my thing. It's cheaper, you know.
Mm.
You get more.
You get leftovers, right? Right.
With spaghetti, well, if you put it, that doesn't work well as a leftover. I'm just saying if you get it in I thought you were talking about a restaurant.
No, no, I just meant the
Spaghetti.
food. Yeah, sure.
Oh, I think still spaghetti,
Spaghetti. Okay, okay.
starch. You know what I
Um,
mean?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, back to movies. Spookies or Burial
Starch is
Ground?
good. I like it with lard. Lard on the
Mm,
spaghetti.
of course, yeah, you have to
And
have that
lard is
mix.
healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your fans
Mm.
should know that. The lard is now declared healthy.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and that comes out in your films too. Let's see. Spookies or Burial Ground?
Lard ass. We had a man named after Lard. Joe Fleischaker played a character, Lard ass.
You did?
That was
Yes.
subtle, subliminal. We knew Lard was healthy before Lard
And
did.
yes,
Before the
and
New York
he
Times talked about it. We knew that.
he's
You have a
in
Lard ass.
Citizen Toxie. I just
Hey, there it is.
rewatched that one.
Citizen
There it is.
Toxic.
Your favorite Avenger film. I've
I
got it
hope you
right
like
here.
the new Toxic Avenger. Where do
Well,
you see that?
yeah, is there anything? Oh my gosh, is there anything else you can say about the new Toxic without getting in trouble?
It's no, it's better than the original, and you've got all these wonderful stars in it who love the movie. And I went there to Bulgaria where they shot it, and food's very good, and women are very attractive. Crew was great in Bulgaria. I had to pay my own round trip ticket though. God damn it!
What
But
the hell? That's not.
it was well worth it. How many times you need to go to Bulgaria? But I had a very bad. It was an 18-hour flight, and because I'm cheap, I went on tourist class, lowest class, and my back something happened to my back. I had 2 years of back serious back issues. It's very important that your fans know that I had some back issues. I'm sure they want to know
Okay.
that. So
Yeah, absolutely. I will.
I also have this thing.
I'll emphasize
I have
that.
these, I have these warts. My anus, which did not come from Delta Airlines, although they do have
Hmm.
bed bugs on those airplanes.
Yeah, you
Delta's
have to be careful.
terrible.
Oh my gosh, you should really get those warts checked out.
Yeah, all these airlines, they're all very bad. They're all very bad.
Mm, mm.
So,
Well, I hope you have one
where
of
were
those
we?
like those
Airline, yeah,
pillows to sit on. Spookies or Burial Ground?
Spookies or Burial Ground.
Yes, the films.
Spookies are cuter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I like this.
Crazy film.
Spookies.
Okay. Um, Beach or
Yeah,
city
well, with the
vacation?
spaghetti too. That's spaghetti and
Yeah.
spookies. You get a good evening. What's that?
Yeah,
You say
beach
what?
or
Pornhub?
city
I
vac.
don't know. I'm not talking about Pornhub. Is that what you
Oh
asked me?
gosh. No,
You
no,
say
I
you
said
watch Pornhub
beach.
a lot? No, I don't. I'm not interested in
Of
that.
gosh, no, I would never ask you
Why did
that.
you bring it up?
Um,
Why did you bring up
well, let's
Pornhub?
move
You know,
on then.
if
Beach or city vacation?
city by far.
City. All right. Dead alive or dead snow?
Oh, I'd say Dead Snow. I thought that was
Mm,
great. If you're talking
that
about
was good.
movies,
Yeah,
yeah,
movies, right? The
wonderful.
Nazi zombie
Oh, that's a great film.
zombies.
Yeah,
That's a
very
good
good
one.
film.
Yes, I got to see a screening of that when it came out. Back to some movies
Norwegian,
here.
Norwegian film.
Yeah, so
Yes,
good. Blood for Dracula or Flesh for Frankenstein?
I can't. I'm not qualified to make that kind of.
You can't
You know,
choose.
it's a little above my pay grade. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Let's
Now,
keep on moving then. Phantom of the Mall or Chopping Mall?
I'd say Chopping Mall, but
Chopping Mall.
you know, these are so. This is so
Yeah,
old.
I heard like a whisper. Okay. Would you like to live on the moon or live on Mars?
I don't know. What do I? What is my answer? What could my answer be? Oh, yes, Mars, because
Mars.
women from Mars, they're big,
All right. Yes,
big,
two
you
more.
know,
The Mutilator or Slaughter High? Old
mutilator.
80s films.
I vaguely remember the mutilator. That was a little bit too
It's a
much like
buddy
Claude
Cooper.
Chabrol movies. So I'd
Mm.
go with the other one, I think.
Okay. Slaughter High. And
Yeah, it was a
lastly,
little too much. Mutilator, too many of those, too much meta. You know what I
mm,
mean?
yeah, sure.
Meta.
Yes. Lastly, Halloween 78 or Jaws?
Oh, I would say Jaws. You.
Yeah.
And speaking of Jaws, there's some pretty goddamn good Jaws. If you go to Pornhub, you go into lesbian teen seduction, and
I thought
there's
you didn't go. You just said you didn't
the
go there.
Jaws. You cannot believe the Jaws. And fat women seem to have bigger jaws than the skinny women. I didn't know
Mm,
that.
mm. I'll have to make a note of that.
It's
And
in the Brutalist. If you look at the Brutalist, one of the main themes of the Brutalist is that. Can't be
I
anything
see.
else.
I see.
What did you
Um,
think of the Brutalist? What did you think of the Brutalist?
I don't think I've seen The Brutalist, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't need to. You don't need to. It's too horrifying. It's too disgusting.
Don't see it.
It's,
Don't see it.
it's kind of like, well, they make it gross. It's
Yeah,
not like a Troma movie. I mean, it's not like The Substance. You know, it's really disgusting. Brutalist is
yeah. Oh, The Substance was fantastic.
fluids,
Um,
fluids,
do
body
you?
horror, body horror. That's what they should call the Brutalist, body horror.
Mm.
Well, that's
Do you
just,
have?
you know, giving you my opinion. You don't have to get upset
Yeah.
about it.
I'm not
You
upset. I was going to say, do
haven't
you
seen
have
it.
I haven't seen it, no, so I don't know. Do you have a favorite
Why
movie of 2025 so far?
2025? That's so long ago.
Yeah, I know, right? It's hard to think back.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you one that I revisited recently. China Gate. China Gate by Sam Fuller, who was a good buddy of ours. He loved Troma's War so much.
Mm.
But that movie has everything. Tells you about war, tells you about love, tells you about relation. It's a masterpiece, no matter how you look at it.
Okay, there you go.
I
Good
would say
shout there.
this year that might be the best film I've seen. But there are some wonderful new movies and new series that are great.
Mm, mm, mm.
The
Excellent. Well,
studios good. Studio's very funny. And The Residence was okay. And Mountainhead, I'm looking forward to see Mountainhead. Sinners, I got to see. We got to see that in IMAX.
Sinners was good.
What
Yep.
is it? IMAX? Whatever vowel it
IMAX.
is. That's how
Yeah,
we're going to say
IMAX. Yeah, on the big screen. Sinners
it.
was great.
Yeah.
Cool.
You saw it? You saw it?
Yeah, I did. It was awesome. Yeah, I really liked it.
Where did you see it?
Uh, just at the
Where?
local theater, AMC.
Oh. How much was it to get in?
Oh gosh, I don't know. $12, $12.
Well, if you bring a family, that's a lot of money. And if you buy the junk food,
Oh
ends up
gosh,
being
the
a lot of
popcorn.
money.
Yeah, it's a
And then
fortune.
gas.
Fortune.
More gas, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It adds up.
But
Chicken wings, pizza, everything.
where are you located, by the way?
I am in Massachusetts, right next to Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got invited to the Salem Film Festival.
Oh,
But
did you
then,
go?
well, the problem is they looked at hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm after they invited me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they disinvited me.
Oh,
This is a place where
that's not cool.
women were burned at the stake for talking.
Yes, I know,
They
right?
couldn't take the
And they
hashtag Shakespeare
censored. They didn't
shitstorm.
want
They
they
couldn't
didn't
take a
want you to
movie
come.
that promotes
Mm,
the feminist. They couldn't take it.
mm.
They got a film festival that celebrates the burning and torture of women, and yet the hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm. And they invited me, and I accepted. I had it on my calendar.
And so, how did they
What are you
remove you
going to do?
from the invite
This
list?
is what
Uh, too
they
bad.
just said to get
Too bad.
lost. No,
Yeah.
in fact, they were rather hostile about it. It was a woman.
Oh, well, their loss.
What are you going to do?
Well, yeah,
Burning
yeah.
witches is apparently acceptable. Torturing women is acceptable, but not movies. That's interesting.
Not your movies.
Well, what are you
Yeah.
going to do? But you
Well,
take a,
well,
you're
it's
going to be an
their
independent
loss.
filmmaker. You get a lot
Yeah.
your face shoved a lot of shit,
Well, their loss. That's all I'll say. But
Not
Lloyd,
easy to be an independent film.
no, it is
Yes,
not.
Aaron.
I was just going to say, well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with me today. You are a legend, like I said. I love your staff. I think they're very dedicated to keeping
Well, it's
keeping the
been a
movie.
pleasure, and thank your fans. Thank your fans for the good questions. They were good. I wish my
Absolutely.
answers were better, but
Of course.
you know,
Yes.
getting old.
Yeah. Well, keep
Well,
making movies,
remember,
and
don't cease.
you have a fan here. And this has been a lot of fun. Awesome.
Well, thank you. Well,
Yep,
please encourage people to check out Troma Now, and thank you, Aaron.
I certainly will. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. So,
All right. See you later.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Hey.